What is going on, everyone? It's Ultimate Spy 53 here, and welcome to another episode of Reviewed number 130. And today, I'm going to be reviewing the movie MirrorMask. So, what did I think of MirrorMask? Wow. This movie was crazy. It was so weird. Oh my god, it was insane. But it was still very good. I really did like it. It was just it's just one of those movies where it's like, what is even happening? Like, what is this place kind of thing? It had a very similar concept to Coraline, which is my favorite movie of all time. And the fact that it kind of, because a lot of the characters in this movie, from her own life, her real life, or her mother is two different people, the Queen of Light and then the Queen of Darkness, and then there's also there's a lot of really weird things in the movie. It's just a weird movie, but I think that the fact that the way that Coraline experienced her, the fact that the other world was kind of her kind of a dream, in this sense the City of Light was a dream for her, because it's really weird. It's like the weirdest movie I've ever seen. Like, seriously, this movie is so weird. And it's just a creepy movie. It really is. I feel like the lighting was very interesting because it felt like it was like a noir style to it, because it kind of flickered a lot of the time, and it was just weird. I can't explain it more than that. It's a very weird movie. Although Valentine is a very interesting character. Obviously, because all the cast is British except for this one guy who's Irish. He speaks an Irish accent. I love the Irish accent, and also the British too. But they have basically it's directed by a British director. It stars a lot of Brits, and there's also Valentine, who's played by an Irish actor. So it's mainly a UK movie, but kind of like Harry Potter, except that movie was American directed. But with this kind of thing, but the Valentine, he's just he's interesting. I don't know, something about him. He's creative. He's helpful. Overall, it's very strange. I think that the fantasy world that Helena travels through, it's just, God, it's so weird. It's so weird. The creatures that she encounters are just so, oh my God, it's creepy and weird at the same time. Coraline is just downright creepy, but this movie, it had that vibe to it, but it was very different because it's more weird than anything because of the characters that she comes across, and just overall the tone of it is weird. It's just it's the weirdest movie you would ever see. It's like, whoa. It's hard to explain really, but I will say that it's just honestly one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen in my entire life. It's I think when I first saw it, I was terrified. The first time I saw it, I remember the creepy mechanical doll thingies that basically they have the magical power to make Helena different, change her look and all that stuff, make her into the goth version of herself. Wild hair, dark red lipstick, dark eyeshadow, dark nails, a dark dress. I just think it was, honestly, that's my memorable moment from that movie, because I saw this movie, I don't know when I saw it, but it came out in 2005, so it was about 13 years old. So it's pretty old, but honestly, it's, for a movie that came out in 2005, it's not bad. And I just think that Anti-Helena, as they call her, she's just creepy, because, I think her eyes are what really make it creepy, the fact that both the Queen of Darkness and Anti-Helena are both so creepy because their eyes are completely black, and they have no irises. Maybe a little bit, but it's really just that, because Anti-Helena is supposed to be this goth girl that I described, where it's just she's all about it. I think at one point, which kind of made me confused by the movie, was that in the movie, the one thing I noticed a lot about it was obviously her. It's interesting because with Helena's eyes is that they go from black, like the Queen of Darkness, to what Helena had before, which is really weird. I don't know what happened. I feel like what happened in that part of the movie is that Valentine was the reason why she turned back. She had the same, same makeup, same clothes, all same hairstyle, but her personality changed because when she became Anti-Helena, she was a completely different person. She obeyed the Queen of Darkness, who was actually her mother, which is not true at all. Kind of like Coraline. And so Valentine, I guess, he does something, he gets either drug or something like that, and suddenly she's back. Suddenly her personality changes, her eyes are no longer, completely black, which is creepy. Ugh, it's terrifying. But one thing about, again, I was talking about the fact that the mechanical doll thingies, or I don't know what they're called. They're all the characters have they have part of their face is like a cutout of a mouth, of a lips, and it's just, ugh, it's so weird. I can't describe it. It's just weird. And they sing a song, very nice song. Actually, a lot of people on YouTube, when of the video I saw this, the whatever you call, well, I don't know what the song's called, but the song when you see Helena for the first time being transformed into Anti-Helena by the I guess the Queen's servants. I mean, I feel like they're just like creepy mechanical doll things, but they're apparently the Queen's servants. And apparently, like I said before, where they can just wave their hands and suddenly she magic changes. Like feel her, then suddenly they would wave, and then suddenly her eyelids would have eyeshadow on them, and then they would move again, and then she would turns out her nails are now black, and then they changed her lips to becoming dark red. And typical goth girl kind of thing, but it's like, I guess because like I felt like it wasn't like a fantasy movie. I mean, it was a fantasy world. It just didn't feel like a big thing, like magical stuff. Like the closer you're gonna get to magic is the mechanical servants just going like this, like boom, suddenly she has makeup on, all that stuff. It's weird. And then of course she still has the dress on, she has still some makeup on. Even after, like, I guess Valentine changes her light, like, it suddenly convinces her to become Helena again. It's kind of confusing. It's like suddenly her eyes were black, and then they became regular eyed. It's weird. But yeah, I just think it was weird because, like, the end of the movie, Helena becomes a goth girl. Not the goth girl in Anti-Helena, but the goth girl at the end of the movie, like, just like a punk girl with, chains and all that stuff, and heavy makeup. Typical goth girl stuff, but, yeah, I just think that Anti-Helena is just creepy. I mean, both of them creepy. Like, ugh. I mean, seriously, the creepiest thing ever is black eyes. It's just, ugh. I mean, no, like, irises at all. No, none of that. Ugh. It's weird. One of the weirdest things about this movie, and I think I mentioned it before, was that everyone wears a mask. Even Valentine. I mean, that's what makes Valentine a very interesting character, and also he's a very important man, but also, our character is the fact that his mask, it's part of him. It's like his face. And that's just the weirdest thing ever. Like the fact that, like, his mask is his face. Because it looks like he actually has a face, but like his mask is like glued onto it or something like that. It's like part of it. It's like, I can't describe it. It's really weird. And there's even the scene where, because it's after Helena in the costume of Anti-Helena runs away with Valentine. I think yeah, Warwick Davis even voices the character in that scene. Like when he's doing the food. That's Warwick Davis. It's pretty awesome. But like they run away, they find Valentine finds some food, and then he finds some fruit. And the future fruit, which basically shows you your future, and then it's a future as a waiter at a restaurant. And it's the first time we see Valentine without a mask, as like a human, a regular human. I mean, he's human, but like he has a mask on for a reason. So he looks completely different. He's actually he's a human in this scene, and then of course at the end of the movie, like I guess he's brought back something like that. I don't know exactly what happened. Like where do you go with the climax of the movie to where he comes back to the real world? Because as far as Helena's concerned, he's in her dream basically. But one thing about Valentine that I found very interesting was at the very beginning of the movie, like the very start of the movie, when Helena's doing her little sock puppet show with her feet. It was interesting because she foreshadowed Valentine. Like he said, I'm a very important man, and it's like, oh, Mr. Valentine. That was foreshadowed. When I saw this on the second viewing, I didn't catch this immediately. I'm like, wait, what? So I was like, wait, that's crazy. Because so basically, like, Helena, does her little puppet show with her feet, and it turns out that she's actually talking when she brings up Valentine, Mr. Valentine. It's not really called Mr. Valentine. Well, I think it's called Mr. Valentine by the Queen of Darkness, but not Helena herself. But beginning then when she mentions him, and then she says, I'm a very important man, that's foreshadowing her meeting him, which is very cool. Honestly, I don't really see that in movies a lot. Like, usually it's things where I usually watch it in, like, everything wrong with or everything great about movies on the channel, on the Cinema Sins and Cinema Wins. So usually they point out the foreshadowing. I don't really catch it until I watch it a couple more times. That's why foreshadowing is very important, like when you watch a movie a couple times. Like, oh my god, that's amazing. That's crazy that's even in there, and I didn't catch it the first time. I was like, yeah, she's totally foreshadowing that she's gonna be meeting Valentine, which is awesome. That's really cool. So, but yeah, it turns out he does actually have a face, because most of the masks people wear, they have little dots for the eyes, which is creepy. I mean, kind of like Coraline with the button eyes kind of thing. So, yeah, Valentine's a very fun character. He's definitely Helena's guy, for sure. One of the really cool things about the movie that she discovers in, like, when she first discovers the world she's in, she kind of notices something, the fact that her drawings are coming to life. She's looking through her windows and discovering that she's actually asleep. It's actually a dream of hers. And that, like, there's a different reality behind those windows, and, like, she's trapped in this world, and she can get out of it. Because obviously she's in a dream, so only way she get out of it is to, fix everything. And so, she's up looking through the windows, seeing her life from a different lens, seeing, like, a different version of her, essentially, seeing the goth version of herself, kind of thing. And it's all the drawings. Like, all the drawings she made, like, it's crazy. Like, the sphinxes come to life, everything comes to life, basically. I don't think they were masked well for things to draw, but just in general, I think it was very interesting that the drawings she drew actually came to life in the world she was in, which is very cool. I think that's like, wow, that things can come to life. What was your imagination like? That's like, I mean, obviously that's like, a lot of movies do that, but like this movie had such a special thing where it showed you that things can come to life when you draw them. Mindfreak did that, but it was, I don't know. He's weird. He's just like one of those guys. Who knows if it was real or not? But I just think it's very interesting that, you see what the fantasy world is going to look like through the drawings, and you want to finally see the fantasy world. It's like, oh, I know what those are. Like, all the sphinx, they were from the drawing. That's cool. But one thing about the drawings that really stood out to me was the first drawing of Helena, because it was very interesting what she looked like in the drawings, because when I was looking at it, I'm like, well, that looks familiar. And it's because she looks almost like Coraline. She looks, for sure, reminds me of Coraline's, like for the book, like I want to say either the graphic novel or the book with some of the, I think the book had original drawings like in it. Like, I think there was some illustrations on a couple of the chapters of Coraline, but there's a drawing of her that looks very similar to Helena in the movie. Like, the first time you see Helena in a drawing, it's really cool. So that was something I really liked. It was like, well, that's really neat. But yeah, overall, this movie had a really amazing editing. Honestly, it had some of the best editing I've seen, combined with the weird jazzy music that they have in it. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. It's just it's mainly just jazz. I can't describe it really. It's harder to describe music like this, but it's very much jazz music, and it's very weird music, and very, like, I don't know, it kind of dark music. Dark, creepy music, kind of, combined with all that stuff, like, all in one genre right there. And the editing was just amazing. Like I said before, with the noir lighting, kind of the flicker effect that it had going on, the editing was just amazing. I mean, honestly, it was amazing. I think it was crazy awesome. I mean, I was like, wow. it really did a good job with it, especially with, like I said before, with the people that didn't really have masks. They were kind of like, I mean, the masks they had on were like pieces of things on their faces, and then they had like dots, of course, and then some of them have like, their mouths were like cutouts, like they felt like they were cut out from like magazines or something like that. It was just like, it was weird. But yeah, overall, this movie was very good. The climax of the movie was very creepy, because when the Queen of Darkness they basically showed her face, it's creepy. It's weird, creepy, and just overall crazy. And I definitely think it was interesting to see. And I don't know why this is a thing, but the fact that Helena turns back into Helena because of Valentine's, I don't know, reason or something like that, something happens, and he convinces her something, and then her eyes turn back into regular eyes, and I mean, she obviously has the makeup and the dresses and all that stuff, and she hates dresses apparently. Like, a lot of people wear dresses in this world, like, well, I don't know. But yeah, overall, very weird movie. It came out in 2005, so it's pretty old, but not like so old that it's like you would forget it really. But like I do remember going to see this movie. I don't think it was in theaters, but I mean, I could be wrong. But I think the creepiest moment of the entire movie, maybe, has got to be when Helena first transforms into Anti-Helena. It's just weird. It's creepy. It's weird, and I don't like it. I believe most of the cover art for the DVD actually has the mechanical doll thing. I don't know what they're called. I know they're referred to as service, but like they obviously call it something else. But in general, yeah, that scene really stood to me as one of the creepiest and one of the weirdest scenes ever. It's like, because it's like, they had the power to like go whoop, and then suddenly you change. You're a completely different person. Like, it felt like, with the Coraline story where, Coraline didn't want to have buttons on her eyes. Similar thing with this, where Helena didn't want to become the Queen of Darkness mother, and basically she forced her to become that kind of thing. She forced her to, I'll make sure I work with this. I'll change your hair. I'll change your clothes. I'll make you my daughter, even though she didn't want to. So kind of like Coraline, where she she didn't want to stay there forever because because if she did, she had to wear buttons. The scenario, it was because she didn't want to stay with the Queen of Darkness because Queen of Darkness was convinced that she was her daughter. Not at all true. That was creepy. In fact, she was transformed into an evil version of herself. It's even crazier. And then by the end of the alternate reality, where she's actually a goth girl, wearing makeup, wearing chains, all that punk stuff. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, but it's also really weird. And I liked it to an extent. It's just a weird movie. It's hard to get through sometimes. It really is. It's very dark and very. I can't. The only word I can describe this movie is weird. It is so weird. It's one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen. I would recommend it still. I just think it was just whoa. And that's all I can say about MirrorMask. Very good movie. I would recommend it. It didn't score very high on Rotten Tomatoes, unfortunately. I think it scored about 54%, so I think it was the script and the story people had issues with, but people still praised it. It was still, decent. It was, whoa. It's a fuckery. It's a mind fuckery of a movie. It fucks your mind so much. It's, whoa. But yeah, I'm gonna give this movie a 8 out of 10. That's pretty reasonable, I think. I'm not gonna give it a perfect score because it wasn't like a perfect movie, but I didn't really have anything issues with it. I just think it was weird. Yeah, 8 out of 10, there you go, that's all I can say. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode I reviewed. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. I really do appreciate the support. And, if you're to this channel, subscribe for more episodes of this series and other series that I do, as well as other great content. And I'll be back next time with another episode. Alright? See ya.